Good morning, everyone, and thank you for choosing Market Briefing, market analysis, and financial news. Every day, our goal is to provide you with a thorough and knowledgeable analysis of the most relevant financial news to help you navigate the complex economic landscape. Let's begin our daily review. Financial news, August 22, 2023. As the trading day begins, Nasdaq futures are once again signaling a positive outlook for U.S. tech shares, building on the momentum from Monday's rally. Contracts tied to the Nasdaq 100 index are on the rise, gaining 0.4%. This surge follows the tech-heavy benchmark's impressive 1.7% jump on Monday, largely fueled by optimism surrounding Nvidia Corporation's upcoming earnings report. The recent rollercoaster ride in the bond market appears to be stabilizing, with Treasuries finding their footing after a sell-off that pushed benchmark yields to their highest levels in 16 years. This calming effect comes as a relief to investors who witnessed the yield on 10-year inflation-protected treasuries breach the 2% mark for the first time since 2009. All eyes now turn to Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's speech later this week for hints on the direction of U.S. interest rates. In Asia, a late surge in Chinese shares has boosted sentiment, allowing key mainland equity indexes to rebound from oversold levels. Meanwhile, Europe is experiencing a tech-led surge, with miners also outperforming amid a fourth consecutive day of gains for iron ore. SoftBank Group Corporation's semiconductor unit, ARM, has filed for what is poised to become this year's largest initial public offering, IPO, in the United States. This move underscores the ongoing fervor in the tech sector. The international currency market is also in the spotlight, with the dollar weakening against most of its Group of 10 peers. Notably, the offshore yuan has steadied after the People's Bank of China implemented a historically strong fixing on the currency, part of their ongoing efforts to counter yuan depreciation. In parallel, the one-month offshore yuan interbank interest rate has surged to levels not seen since 2018. Looking ahead, all eyes are on Jerome Powell's speech at the Kansas City Fed's Jackson Hole Economic Policy Symposium, following the recent rate hike, which pushed rates to their highest level in 22 years. Market sentiment is cautious, with investors weighing the risks of further rate hikes against the backdrop of inflation concerns. In emerging markets, leaders from BRICS nations are gathering in Johannesburg, with discussions focused on reducing dependence on the US dollar and increasing local currency trade. Now, let's take a quick look at some stocks that are making waves today. TEVA, has agreed to pay $225 million to settle criminal charges over price-fixing allegations. Keep an eye on earnings reports from Macy's, and Lowe's, LOW, scheduled for today. On the economic front, attention is on the release of July's existing home sales data in the United States, along with the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index. Additionally, Federal Reserve, Fed, Governor Michelle Bowman and Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee are set to speak at the Fed Listens event, focusing on joining the labor force after COVID, a discussion on youth employment. Yesterday, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite indices closed positively. This mixed performance came in the wake of S&P Global Ratings' announcement of downgrading several medium-sized U.S. banks, including KeyCorp, Comerica Incorporated, Valley National Bancorp, and UMB Financial Corp by one notch. Meanwhile, the benchmark 10-year U.S. Treasury bond yield reached a remarkable 4.36%, its highest level in nearly 16 years, before retracing slightly to 4.3%. In early Tuesday trading, U.S. stock index futures are in positive territory, reflecting a growing appetite for risk, while the U.S. dollar index remains in negative territory, hovering around 103.00. Before proceeding with our analysis, we would like to remind you that your support is very important to us. If you enjoy this video and find our content helpful and engaging, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. This helps us grow and provide you with even more quality content. Now, let's get back to the news on the financial markets and the latest updates. The US dollar's performance against major currencies today reflects the prevailing market sentiment. USD versus EUR, minus 0.26%. USD versus GBP, minus 0.26%. USD versus CAD, minus 0.13%. USD versus AUD, minus 0.46%. USD versus JPY, minus 0.32%. USD versus NZD, minus 0.59%. USD versus CHF, minus 0.14%. In contrast, the euro has gained against the US dollar by 0.25%, trading at its highest level in 6 days, above 1.0920. The British pound is also on the rise, advancing towards 1.2800 following a modest rebound on Monday. In the commodities space, gold prices are benefiting from falling US yields, gaining 0.4% to trade above $1,900. Meanwhile, Bitcoin remains in a tight trading range around $26,000, while Ethereum is relatively stable below $1,700, having experienced a minor decline of more than 1%. Today's financial markets are marked by a retreat of the US dollar as investors embrace riskier assets. Positive economic data, bond yield dynamics, and central bank events continue to shape market sentiment, with currencies and commodities responding accordingly. Investors are closely monitoring these developments for cues on the near-term market direction. Key events this week. U.S. existing home sales, Tuesday. Chicago Fed's Austin Goolsbee speaks, Tuesday. Eurozone S&P Global Services and Manufacturing PMI, Consumer Confidence, Wednesday. UK S&P Global, SIPS UK Manufacturing PMI, Wednesday. U.S. New Home Sales, S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, Wednesday. U.S. Initial Jobless Claims, Durable Goods, Thursday. Kansas City Fed's Annual Economic Policy Symposium in Jackson Hole begins, Thursday. Japan Tokyo CPI, Friday. U.S. University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, Friday. Fed Chair Jerome Powell, ECB President Christine Lagarde to address Jackson Hole Conference, Friday. Some of the main moves in markets. Stocks. The Stoxx Europe 600 rose 0.9% as of 8:51 a.m. London time. S&P 500 futures rose 0.3%. Nasdaq 100 futures rose 0.4%. Futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.2%. The MSCI Asia Pacific Index rose 1%. The MSCI Emerging Markets Index rose 0.8%. Currencies. The Bloomberg Dollar Spot Index fell 0.3%. The euro rose 0.3% to $1.0930. The Japanese yen rose 0.3% to 145.75 per dollar. The offshore yuan was little changed at 7.2924 per dollar. The British pound rose 0.3% to $1.2799. Cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin was little changed at $26,092.69. Ether fell 0.4% to $1,665.67. Bonds. The yield on 10-year Treasuries declined 2 basis points to 4.32%. Germany's 10-year yield declined 3 basis points to 2.67%. Britain's 10-year yield declined 2 basis points to 4.71%. Commodities. Brent crude fell 0.4% to $84.16 a barrel. Spot gold rose 0.3% to $1,901.49 an ounce. In conclusion, we'd like to thank you for watching Market Briefing, market analysis, and financial news. If you enjoyed our insights and found the information helpful, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to our channel to stay updated with future analyses. Thank you again for your support, and we'll see you soon with more interesting news. Remember, the information in this video is purely informational and does not constitute investment advice. Always consult with a professional before making financial decisions.